Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here's my update for February 2025. It's going to be a really busy month. There's the International Wine Festival, which is on in Vancouver this month, February 22nd to March the 3rd, 2025. And for the first time, I'm trying something new. I'm going to have two viewer/subscriber events. One on Thursday night, if you want to join me for a quick bite before we go to the International Wine Festival. And then I'm going to go to the International Wine Festival for the international wine tasting, which is kind of 120 different wineries tasting that night. You're welcome to kind of join me as I kind of look at some of the tables and taste wines. And then the other one is on Saturday night. We're not going to go to the wine festival, but we're going to have a dinner where everyone will bring a bottle of wine from the theme country, which is US. I'll share some bottles and, we can just kind of have fun. Since Christmas, I've been drinking a lot of wines because there's Chinese New Year. I hope to get a break a little bit before the International Wine Festival because there's going to be a lot of wine tasting then. But I've already got a stack of videos that have already been done. So you're gonna see a flood of videos because I want to get them out for the International Wine Festival. I was very excited to have the opportunity to taste some of the US wines that are coming in for the wine festival. And in particular, I chose wines from Booker Winery, which I'm not that familiar with, and Robert Mondavi Winery. And I got to do interviews with some of the principals that are coming into town. The nice thing about the Vancouver International Wine Festival is that each booth, they have one person or representative from the winery. For both of these wineries, I'm going to do one video where I go through the history of the winery and then taste the wines that are going to be served at the International Wine Festival. So you can give a little sneak peek of those wines. And then I have a part 2 of that video where I actually do an interview with the representative of the winery. And so I think hopefully you'll enjoy those videos and get to really know those two wineries, Booker Winery and Robert Mondavi Winery. In addition, I've got a lot of videos already stacked up. I've got the tasting of a Vega Sicilia 2013, which one of my viewers and subscribers came in to drink with me. Another one, the Didier Dagenot 2019 Pouilly Fumé Silex. And I'm really excited. A lot of viewers and subscribers do come in when they're in town or when I visit different countries. They do kind of try to look me up and try to connect with me. And if it possible, I try to do that. I've had really good experiences so far. That's been fortunate, and all the subscribers have been great, really knowledgeable people, really nice people, interesting backgrounds, and we've enjoyed wineries. And these are wines that they brought in to drink with me. I also brought a bottle, and so it was kind of a nice exchange of bottles. Also doing a video comparison, a comparative tasting between the Ruinart Rosé and the Moët Chandon Rosé. So I hope people will enjoy that. I'm doing a tasting of this wine, the 2006 Chateau Palmer. I went through a number of bottles of this wine, but I never get to do a tasting of it because we always just drink it up. And then also a tasting of the Rioja Alta 2015, which I bought in Hong Kong at Watson Wine. So lots of things to do, and that doesn't even include my video that's going to go through the kind of my tasting notes or what booths I would go to at the International Wine Festival. And I'm sure there are going to be lots of other videos that come up. I'm pleased to get media accreditation to the Vancouver International Wine Festival. So I'll be going to some of the seminars, the trade seminars, and try to bring you a report from that. I've been invited to one of the wine dinners put on by one of the Italian producers. So I hope to give you some indication of that. Looking forward, later on this year in the spring, I will be going to Spain and Portugal. I am visiting Porto. I did contact a number of port houses, and two of them have kind of graciously offered some tastings to me, some of them complimentary, some of them kind of at a reduced rate. So it'll be really, hopefully I'll be able to bring you parts of those tours. The two port houses that I will be visiting in Porto is going to be Graham's and Ferreira. And so hopefully I'll be able to bring you a video on those. Each month I share my thoughts on different wine topics. These are two topics that I talk about a lot. Wine ratings. Everyone gets so caught up in wine ratings. Again, I try to reiterate this time and time again. that wine ratings really are for consumers to buy. It really is someone's palate, and it's really important to know who is tasting the wine, because there's sometimes other factors, and there's also different palates. So what someone rates a certain way may not be how you rate it. Of course, there's some more influential wine critics, and people go by their scores. But really, it's up to you. The stores itself mean a lot to people that actually buy wines for investment. From a consumer's perspective, they actually don't mean that much. And people do get caught up on these things too much. They say, oh, this, wine is, 95 points, is whatever. Really, it's in the drinking. And a lot of times, a lot of 88-point wines are much more drinkable than 95-point wines. So a lot of times the 95 point takes into account other factors, which is the longevity of the wine. And although I'm very blessed to drink a lot of trophy wines, I enjoy each wine as it is, as what it presents. And you can't compare every one of them. That's why I don't do top 10 lists. I don't do my favorite wine list. It depends on your mood. It depends on what you're pairing it with. It depends on a lot of factors. And it's just like choosing your favorite wine is like choosing your favorite child. You can't do that. It's just not fair to the wine. That's not the nature of wine. Wine is not a competitive business. Wine is for pleasure. And I keep on bringing this up, but I really hope people get that in their mind, to get that out of that psyche. And I can tell you, at least when I drink with my people that are supposedly very high-end drinkers, very little goes into the score. People will mention it, but many people actually don't care about the scores. They care about the wine. They care about, was it stored right, and then does it drink well? And they're very honest about their opinion. So, and that's all that really matters. The second thing I always talk about is blind tasting, because it's a big thing now. Everyone's blind tasting. Again, I'm not a good blind taster. I can tell you that. I don't do it a lot, but I've got a video or a short coming up. I've got a friend that does a taste that's a very good method, which I really enjoy, called the Joe method. And I'm going to introduce that, but I think it's a really inoffensive, casual way to blind taste, because so much everyone is like, blind tasting, I got a blind taste. Really, blind tasting is for those people who are in the wine industry. I think it's really important because you have to know your stuff. You're selling wines. You have to be able to buy wines. That's, I think, very important for them. If you're going for your WSET certificates or Master of Wine certificates, of course, that's very important. It's part of the component of the test. But from consumer perspective, I don't think that important. I will blind taste with anyone if they want to. I get a lot of them wrong. I don't have any problem admitting that I'm not a great blind taster. You probably get better as you taste more, and you probably get better if you know the type of wines we're talking about in terms of blind tasting. Not knocking it at all. It's just, for me as a consumer, it's not big on my list. I like to enjoy wines. I like to know what I'm drinking. And if you think that means I don't know how to drink wines, or I don't know anything about wines, then that's your opinion. No problem, right? But from my perspective, I enjoy knowing what I'm drinking. I enjoy liking that. I'll blind taste for fun. But again, don't put too much credence in it. If you enjoy blind tasting, then do it. If you don't enjoy blind tasting, that doesn't mean that you are not a wine person, or you're not a wine aficionado, whatever they want to call it. I don't even know what that means. Really, again, I want to get back to, wine is not a competitive business at the consumer level. Of course, when you're entering competitions, of course, when wine is your job as a sommelier or as a buying agent, that's different, because that's your job. And of course, you have to perfect your job. But as a consumer, I have enough pressures in life already with my current job. I don't need any extra pressure when I am supposedly relaxing. So again, all I want to say to people is basically just chill out. Wine is for enjoyment. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the people you drink with. If you like something and it's not expensive, good for you. If you like something and it's really expensive and you have the means, good for you. It's really about supporting each other and kind of being encouraging. And that's how we can get more people to um, grow this passion by kind of being condescending, by saying people, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to drink it this way, you got. That's what turns people off, by saying, hey, you're not a real drinker unless you drink Burgundy. You're not. That's that's to me all talk. You can do whatever you like. Wine, the ultimate thing for wine is it is for enjoyment. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says. And I'm telling you from my level, I don't look down on people that drink $10 wines. Honestly, if that's your budget, then that's what you got to drink. That's great. I'm just fortunate that I have been able to drink some trophy wines. But when I started out, I wasn't drinking these wines. I was drinking $10 wines, and I started that way. So, and I enjoyed it. And so it's no different. That passion continues to grow, whether you're drinking $10 wines or $20 wines or $1,000 wines. It's about the passion. And once you lose that passion from a consumer perspective, again, we got to quantify this. If you are in the industry, that's a different story. If you're a buyer, if you're a sommelier, where that's your job, probably is not as fun because it is part of your job. But as a consumer, when that fun, when that joy comes out of it, then you shouldn't drink, honestly. And that's, some people just kind of say, hey, I've had enough. I've tasted everything I want to do. My health's waning. I don't drink anymore. That's fine. And I may get to that point one day. So I just want to support people that want to get in wine. And whenever people say, hey, how do I get into wine? There's no, just drink. Just drink with nice people. And if you want to learn more about wine, that's great. If you don't want to learn more about wine, you just want to drink, that's great. Take it at your own pace. Don't really worry about what other people talk about or say. It's really, they kind of over make it more complex than it is. It's a very simple passion. It's a beverage. It's supposed to be a thirst quenching. It's supposed to be paired with food. It's supposed to make your experience, your dining experience, or your just after work experience pleasurable. That's all it is. It's very simple. And there's different tastes, and if you enjoy different tastes, that's great. If you just say, I only like Cab, I only like Aussie Shiraz, okay, then you know your stuff, and that's what makes you happy. Don't let anyone else, kind of get in your way. That's all my point is. I'm sorry I'm going over and over again, but these are the two main points that I see that people kind of get away from, especially as they get more and more involved in wine. They forget that really it's about the passion, and it's really about your own taste. That's all it's about. And all these other things, all these other tools, whether it be wine magazines, whether it be YouTube channels like myself, they're just to help you get more understanding so that you can have more pleasure drinking the wine. Not like some people equate their pleasure to more education. They want to know more about the wines. So that's the whole idea about these videos. Not to be some type of guru about wines, but just to enhance your pleasure of wines. Sorry I'm going on and on about this, but these are very, very key points in terms of understanding the enjoyment of wine. The rest of this video is going to be what's new and new and on sale in BC liquor stores. And I hope I will put in the comment section again the kind of 2 events that I'm holding for viewers and subscribers. It's kind of limited to 8 people, so it's just a small group. I love to meet people that drink, honestly. And so far, I've had great experiences with the people that I've met. And so I'd love to have a couple of viewers and subscribers come on and join me on those 2 nights. Again, hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Here are my wine recommendations for the month of February 2025. First one is kind of a really value wine, and you don't see many drinkable wines in BC that are under $10. And so because you have the GST savings till February 15th, it's even a better deal. So this is the Palo Alto Red Blend. It's reduced from $11.99 to $7.49, which is kind of an incredible price. From the Chile Mole Valley, it's not going to be, super complicated, but hey, it's drinkable. It's going to be decent. It's probably going to be fairly tannic. It's 60% Cabernet, 25% Carmenere, and 15% Syrah. So you might want to kind of open it up in a decanter a little bit, and I'm sure it'll taste fine for, under $8. That's a magnificent price for a imported wine. Next wine, one of my favorite value producers from Argentina, is Bodegas Escorihuela, their 1884 estate grown Cabernet Sauvignon, reduced this month from $19.99 to $16.99. Again, excellent drinking wine. It's going to be unpretentious. It is aged 10 months in barrel, and it comes from the Mendoza region in Argentina. So not a lot wrong with this. Again, it's not one of these wines you want to cellar too long. It's really a pop and open wine. I would put it in a decanter. The tannins are going to be pretty strong on this, but you can get a classic Malbec taste in this. And so lots of dark fruit, a little bit of spice, a little bit of herbaceousness, a little bit of tobacco in the end. Really great with steaks or barbecue food. So I really think the quality is always there with this wine. Next wine, another Chilean wine. And this month, I'm focusing a lot on value wines. Just like last month, there was a lot of sales on Bordeaux and maybe higher end stuff. This month, those don't seem to be there, but there's a lot of good value on there's good sales on value wines. So this is another winery I really like in terms of their style. It is Dos Vascos 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon Grand Reserva. It is reduced from $29.99 to $25.99. So it is part of the Baron Lafite, Baron de Rothschild Lafite family. I think the winery Los Vascos was started in 1988. And this is a blend of 88% Cabernet Sauvignon, 10% Syrah, and 2% Carmenere, which gives that little bit of Chilean influence in this. It is it's aged in French oak barrels for 12 months, so it got a little bit of toastiness, but again, really great New World Cabernet Sauvignon, gonna pack a punch, but really for drinkers, it's a really nice bottle under $30, and it's gonna give you the nice dark fruit flavors. And it's gonna have some richness because of the oak aging, plums, black currants, and probably a little bit of spiciness on this. Because I'm going to Portugal later on this year, I've taken up an interest in port, and it really is actually quite a good deal in terms of the kind of processing of the wine. So this is an example. This is Graham's 2017 late bottle vintage port. And late bottle vintage just means that it is bottled after the vintage date. So in this case, it's 2017. It's probably spent between 4 to 6 years in wood before it's actually bottled. So it might have be bottled in 2020, between 2021 and 2023. Given the age of that, the process, they had to spend 4 to 6 years in oak. It's quite affordable. It's $28.99 to reduced to $26.99. Because it's higher alcohol, port can last you a lot longer than a bottle of wine. So it can be drunk over a number of sittings, and it's really nice kind of wine to wind down with some dessert or some cheeses. And this bottle actually comes with a nice kind of canister or box design. So I think it's really well priced. This is a new product in BC liquor stores, and really well priced again, under $20 right now. This is Zuccardi Series A Malbec, and it's reduced this month from $24.99 to $19.99. Zuccardi is a really well-known producer of Argentina wines, Malbecs, from the Uco Valley in Mendoza region. They produce, again, all the range. And I guess this is kind of really their entry level wine. It's a fairly new kind of label for them. And it's going to be your typical Malbec, a lot of red ripe fruit aromas, got cherries, black peppers, tobacco, chocolate, firm tannins. So I really like this. Again, I like to go with the value with value wines. I like either value wine experts or specialists, or I like really good wineries that just make really good wines. And Zuccardi is one of these. They're an expert in making Malbec wines in Argentina. So it's a new product too, and it's kind of a nice entry point introduction into Malbec. Another interesting wine, I'm going to, again, later on this year, I'm going to Spain and Portugal, and also kind of taking an interest in Spanish wines. This is a neat region. So this is from the producer is Faustino Rivero Ulesia, and the region itself is Utel Requena, which is near Valencia, which is where I'm going. It's not really well known for, it's not the best known Spanish wine regions like Ribera de Douro, or Rioja, but it's an interesting region. It's still Tempranillo. It's got a 90-point wine inspector, 90-point rating from James Suckling. Beautiful bottle, and I really think it's really well priced, $18.99 to $14.99. Again, it's kind of a little entry point. If you kind of never had a Tempranillo or Spanish wines, want to give it a little try, I would kind of go with something that's a little bit more value, that you can pop and open. It's not going to be as tannic or as serious or need aging as much of some of the higher end wines. So just take a taste of this. It's going to have like dark cherries, black tea, tamarind, some spice, maybe some cloves. It's going to be medium bodied, and it's going to have some great tannins. So again, it's kind of just an entry point into Spanish wines to see if you actually like that type of taste. Next wine, another name that's been producing wines for a long time, and as you can see, most of the producers I go with are kind of they're even not well-known producers. They're producers that have a long history of winemaking. I generally like to stay away from like really new wineries unless I really know them well or I've had them before, just because I like to have established wineries that have over time kind of hone their trade and know their terroir better. So Tomasi, great producer in the Valpolicella region, very famous for this. This is their Superior Ripasso Valpolicella Classico. It's reduced this month from $34.99 to $31.99. So Ripasso is a winemaking technique. Basically, it ferments the sugar to a certain point, so you get a higher alcohol and a bit more sweetness. It's not like really sweet, but in terms of sweet fruit, almost like a dry type sweetness. And it's got a nice acidity and sweetness, and quite high in alcohol content. So a lot of people enjoy that type of style. It's big, heavy, sweet, and really high alcohol and nice to drink. So again, I take a chance at this wine. Last wine I have for you is the Tenuta Set Ponte 2019 Oreno. It's reduced this month from $115.99 to $106.99. And for some reason in BC, we always get very good pricing for Italian wines. So many times it's actually less than what you find in the US, and we're paying Canadian dollars. This is an IGT wine, or Super Tuscan wine, from the Tuscany region. It is a 50% Merlot, 40% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 10% Petit Verdot. So really no Italian grape varietals in this. The average age of the vineyard is 20 to 30 years old in terms of the vines, and it's really high alcohol content at 15%. Kind of one of their flagship wines. Set Ponte has producing great wines for a number of years, since it's first created in 1999. And so again, really nice, almost like a Bordeaux blend, but as you'll see with a lot of Super Tuscans or IGT wines in Italy, even if they use the same grape varietals, you get a much better pricing, and a similar wine of this type of caliber in Bordeaux would probably cost you twice as much. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, happy drinking.